What is up, people, and welcome back to my Rags to Riches F1 2010 to 2014 career mode. This is the career mode where we go from one of the worst teams in F1 2010, work our way up through the ranks and through the teams, and try and get a drive for one of the best teams in F1 2014. We are currently in Season 3, the F1 2012 season, Round 16, the Korean Grand Prix. So, if you have missed any of the previous episodes, go catch up with the card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screen. So there'll be a card up there, there'll be a playlist up there, sorry, and you can go catch up with everything that you have missed so far. But here we are, round 16, the Korean Grand Prix. We've only got 5 races left in this season, 5 races left to secure our seat for F1 2013. We're currently in P6, which is a Sauber seat for next season. After getting P4 at the Singapore Grand Prix, we dropped down after probably my worst race since the start of F1 2010 in this Rags to Riches career mode. Disappointing in Japan, just, you know, penalty after penalty. And yeah, we put the car on the wall at the end of the day because we just weren't getting any points. There just was not any point in carrying on. So we need to get back that 4th place. We need to get back that Force India seat for next season. So fingers crossed we can do it. But heading into today's race, we have some emails to talk about. Tyre wear issues. They're always talking about tyre wear issues when I haven't really had any problems with tyre wear at all. Race results, don't really need to look at that. There's the teammate battle between me and Kamui, and heading into the Korean Grand Prix. So it's going to be dry for the race and dry for the qualifying session. The team want me to qualify in 15th and finish the race in P12. I'm going to aim for better than that. I need to get some points hits there. I need to beat Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber in order to get into P4 in the championship. So, can we do it? Let's find out as we head over to the race weekend for the Korean Grand Prix. It's that time of the race weekend again, the time where we try and get as high up the grid as we possibly can. So here we go, Q1, one-shot qualifying. Let's see what we can do. And so far, it's a bad start to the lap, running very, very wide in towards turn 1, slowing down so much, losing loads and loads of time. But we may be able to pick it up. Of course, last season we had a terrible start to the qualifying session, yet we still managed to qualify up into like P9 or something. So we just have to wait and see how this session goes. It's still not good, running it wide down in towards turn 3 as well. Oh god, that's terrible. That is terrible start to the lap. Already 1.7 seconds down on the P17 time. We have got to find so much time through the rest of the track, because 1.7 seconds down is going to be very, very difficult to try and catch up on. Okay, we've managed to make up 7/10 of a second on John Verne through that 1 sector. I'm pretty sure it's 1.7 seconds down in sector 1. So here we are through the final couple of corners now, losing the back end a little bit, but still on the acceleration. Now we've got this very tricky final corner. You don't want to mess up here, as it will slingshot you into the barrier, but down towards line. It's not going to be enough, unfortunately, to get into Q2. Just messing up so much at the start of the lap there, and 1.5 seconds down to Daniel Ricciardo's time. Luckily, we're still in P18. We didn't lose out to the back markers, but getting knocked out in Q1 is not how we want to go, and that is now official. We have lost out to Kamui Kobayashi in the teammate challenging in terms of the qualifying sessions, which is really, really disappointing thing to happen here today. But we are doing better in the outrace, the championship points, and the podiums, so we should still have enough to beat him across the season. But there we go, out in P18, out in Q1. What can we do in the race? Let's find out. It's race day here at the Korean Grand Prix, and we start way down the field in 18th position for today's race. Not a good qualifying session for myself, just messing up the braking points down in towards turn 1 and turn 3, unfortunately. So we do have a lot to do in today's race to try and work our way up through the field. We're not exactly too sure either whereabouts we are in the field, because it was just so irrelevant, that 1 lap time that we did in the qualifying session. I don't know whereabouts in the field I am. Hopefully I am near the front, and we can possibly try and work our way up to the front of the field and battle with the Red Bull drivers, because we need to beat those. We need to beat those 2 guys in order to get a high place in the championship, and of course get that Red Bull seat for next season. Race strategy for today, though, starting on the option tyres, pitting for the primes on lap 6. We're going to go for a cautious fuel strategy. We're going to be pitting on lap 6 of this 14-lap race. And that is it, 0% chance of rain. So let's head down to the track and get today's race underway. Pole position for today's race, unfortunately, goes to Sebastian Vettel. It would do, wouldn't it? It would go to the guy who I'm trying to catch up to in the championship. Mark Webber, I'm not too sure whereabouts he is, but Kamui Kobayashi obviously beating me in that qualifying session. But only P15, so not a good result for my teammates either. But here we go. As the lights come on now, it is 5 red lights. It is lights out, and away we go for the Korean Grand Prix, using our KERS, using our rich mix of fuel. We're not going to use all of our KERS, though, because obviously it's going to be very tight down in towards turn 1. And look at that maneuver round my teammate and round a Mercedes as well. As we go down in towards turn 2 now, picking up the slipstream, using the KERS, and already up into P9. Right, what can we do down in towards turn 3? This is going to be very difficult. If they go defensive, though, it should be okay. Maldonado on the right-hand side, braking before the 150-meter board. We do not want to mess up this corner like we did in qualifying. Running it very wide just to avoid all the drivers and picking that gap. There we go, seeing the gap, taking it, and getting past Mark Webber. He, of course, is a championship rival of ours. He is currently in that 4th position, that we need to get in today's race, going around the outside of Lewis Hamilton down in towards turn 4. Have we got the job done? Yes, we have. What a start. What an amazing start we have had already in today's race, right behind Fernando Alonso, Jenson Button, and Sebastian Vettel. Of course, we need to beat Sebastian Vettel. We don't really care about Alonso or Jenson Button at this stage of the season. It's all about Sebastian Vettel. Here we go then, on the back of Fernando Alonso. Will we have a chance to go for an overtake down in towards turn 3? Unfortunately, the slipstream is just not enough, but we may be able to do something under braking. No, we're gaining on him now, down in towards turn 3. Here we go, up the inside of Fernando Alonso, possibly. I'm going to go for it, up the inside of Alonso. A little bit of a tyre bang between two of us. Vettel's run wide. Jenson Button's also gone slow out of turn 3. And there we go, side by side with the McLaren driver. Now, what can we do on Sebastian Vettel, if anything? Down in towards turn 4. Can we go around the outside? We're trying it side by side with the Red Bull driver. Very close between the two of us, but unfortunately not able to get the job done. But side by side in towards this corner. He squeezed me onto the curb there. But we've got the job done as he has a little look up the inside. There's contact between someone back there. I think it was Jenson Button and Sebastian Vettel. But nevertheless, we are up into the lead of this race. Despite starting 18th on the grid, we've managed to get our braking line sorted into the start of the lap. And just look at the time we have gained because of that. We are up into the lead of this race, beating our rival of Sebastian Vettel. And let's just carry on with this momentum and see what we can do in the rest of this race. So after 2 laps of today's race, setting the fastest lap of the race so far, and 1.043 seconds quicker than Sebastian Vettel at the moment. Can we extend that lead? We need to try and do our best, and hopefully Jenson Button can get past him as well. Fingers crossed Jenson Button can get past, but we're just going to have to see how this race progresses. Here he goes, Jenson Button against Sebastian Vettel. What can he do? We're just going to have to wait and see after this corner, because I'm too busy concentrating at my braking zone. Braking very early into that corner, but I don't want to mess up, and he's done it! Jenson Button has done it. He is up into P2, ahead of Sebastian Vettel, and unfortunately that does mean he is hunting me down, but at least he is ahead of my rival. Jenson Button now setting the fastest lap of the race. He's only 6 tenths behind me as we cross the line, but that wasn't the best laps from myself. Messing up quite a bit through Sector 2 and Sector 3, so hopefully with a good couple of sectors we can actually extend our lead to Jenson Button. As it looks like Lewis Hamilton has now got past Sebastian Vettel, so it is more good news for me in today's race. Right then, pit stop time at the Korean Grand Prix. Need to make sure that we get the pit entry absolutely spot on, as we don't want to go into any barriers here today. But into the pits we go. Looks like some of the leaders carrying on. Lewis Hamilton carries on in today's race, but Fernando Alonso does come into the pits. He's quite a way off of us, so are the other drivers at the moment in this race. So we shouldn't be held up in the pit lane at all. Onto a new set of prime yellow wall tyres, and away we go. Good, that is what we like to see. Whereabouts are we going to come out as well? Behind Mark Webber. Out of the pit lane we go, and it's just overshot me. Or maybe that was me. I don't know. Was that me or was that them? I'm not entirely sure. But luckily, we are still out ahead of Fernando Alonso. Let's get on with today's race, though. Put it back up into Rich Mix. Follow behind my teammate and make sure we come out ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Back in. Went a little bit crazy there through that sector, but luckily managing to grit my teeth and hold on. As I'm trying to close in on Kamui Kobayashi. I'm not too sure, though, where Lewis Hamilton is. That's the guy that we have to look out for. Where is Lewis Hamilton out on track? We need to get out ahead of the McLaren driver. But are we quick enough? This is going to be the moment of truth. Those guys file into the pit lane. We're going to get past those very easily indeed. We're going to get past these two as well. And it is going to be the lead of the race. Yes, there we go. Taking the lead of the race once again. Getting past Lewis Hamilton. And let's get on with our own race. We're actually going to have a sizable lead over the McLaren driver too. Look at that. Up into the lead of the race. Is it Hamilton in first still? In second still? Yes. Hamilton in second. Alonso in third. And like I said, a big old lead over the rest of the guys. Okay, then only a few laps left to go in this Korean Grand Prix. And we are starting to come under a little bit of pressure from Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton. They're not too far behind us. They might be able to pick up some slipstream down in towards turn 3. We just have to wait and see on that one. Alonso is coming at us at the moment, down in towards turn 3. Oh, okay, everyone's just piled into the back of each other. Can I have a look at a replay of that? Because I'm pretty sure Hamilton went into the back of Alonso, who went into the back of me. And yes, he did. Yes, Hamilton. What on earth are you doing? Alonso is out of the race. Look at his tyre's gone. Hamilton, I think, may have followed suit. Yes, Lewis Hamilton's tyre's completely gone as well. So, what on earth were those two doing? Hamilton brakes way too late into that corner. Let's get rid of that. There we go. And Hamilton just goes straight into the back of Alonso. Loses his front. Not yet. But then Alonso loses his front left tyre and Hamilton loses his front right. And they're both out of the race. They have both. The two championship contenders have just taken each other out of the race. What on earth is going on? Like, that wasn't because I was braking way too early, because Hamilton already went into the back of Alonso. Alonso was fine. He wouldn't have hit me. But then, because of the momentum that Hamilton gave him, that just sent him straight into the back of me. And we were lucky not to lose any rear tyres or anything like that. If that happened, I would have been so furious in today's race. However, what that does mean is that boy right there, Sebastian Vettel, is now in second place. The guy that I was trying to defend against, and I was happy because I had a bit of a safety buffer between himself and I, is now up into P2. And in P3 is Pastor Maldonado. Yes, boy. Pastor Maldonado currently in second place. I'm pretty sure... in third. I'm pretty sure he got second place at the Italian Grand Prix. So, can he hold on to this third place? He is coming under pressure from somebody else out on track. So, he is going to have to put in a bit of a shift to hold on to P3. But, the two championship contenders out of today's race. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible stuff at this Korean Grand Prix. Here we go then. Final lap of this Korean Grand Prix. We still got Vettel on our tail, but he's not too far behind us. He is 1.1 seconds off our tail at the moment. So we are still, we've gained a little bit on him over that lap compared to the Red Bull driver. However, we have lost out quite a lot because of that mistake that we made down in towards turn 1 on lap 13. So we have got him on our tail. He shouldn't get too much slipstream off us, so he should still be able to hold on to this position down in towards turn 3. I've broken very late into this corner, though. I should just about make the corner, but that is going to put Seb very much on my tail. But a good exit out of the corner, and there we go, still holding on to the lead of the race. I'm very happy, though, with how this race has gone, because it's proved that not only am I very good at the start, because we all know that I've done it at pretty much every race so far this season, where I've made so many positions up at the start, but it also proved today that I was actually quick out on track. If I wasn't quick out on track, I would have had a usual train right on my tail. Fortunately for us, it's only Sebastian Vettel, but that's only because I've made a couple of mistakes in the recent laps. So yeah, it looks like I have actually got some decent pace around this Korean Grand Prix. So it's going to be sad to leave here, but at least, hopefully, as long as everything goes to plan, I should be leaving here with a race win. As we've only got a few more corners left to go through the technical section now. One more corner, well, two more corners left to go through the little kink. Oh, losing the back end a little bit through there. Through the fast right-hander, down towards the line. It is going to be our third race win of the 2012 season. I believe that's our 10th race win overall. What a fantastic result here at the Korean Grand Prix. A great race, a dominant drive, an amazing start from 18th on the grid. And I just don't know. I just don't know how that has happened. How we've gone from a race like Japan, which was just an absolute disaster, to a perfect race like we've had here today. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. We are the race winner here today with Sebastian Vettel in second, and Romain Grosjean picks up the podium in third place. Pastor Maldonado finishes in fourth with Jenson Button after falling off the grid for some reason, down in P5. So at least he managed to have a bit of a comeback drive in P5. Kimi Räikkönen finishes in 6th with Mark Webber down in 7th. That's not good there for the guy who currently holds that P4 place. Kamui Kobayashi, my teammate, in P8. Good result there for my teammate, with Bruno Senna in 9th and Felipe Massa getting the final championship point here today. Nico Rosberg in 11th and Michael Schumacher also just missing out on the points here today. Any other surprises in today's race? Not really, but the two big surprises were Fernando Alonso and Lewis Hamilton getting those DNFs. So don't know what happened to those two. Don't know what on earth they were doing. Lewis Hamilton just went straight into the back of Alonso. I mean, it wasn't Alonso's fault at all. He was just a passenger. Got rammed from behind by Lewis Hamilton, and unfortunately that forced him into myself, and he lost his tyre as well as Lewis Hamilton. So both those guys not finishing. That's really going to hurt them in the championship, as myself, Jenson Button, Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber all gained points to them. It's not going to be enough to challenge for the championship just yet, but if more things happen like that, then there may still be an opportunity over the course of the coming races. Right, Drivers' Championship then. What has this done to us? Back up into P4. Get in. Same points as Sebastian Vettel, but we are only now 6 points behind Jenson Button. So we are pushing for P3, and we're not too far off of Lewis Hamilton either. The gap to Lewis Hamilton is 24 points once again. So 24 points is the gap to Lewis Hamilton. 66 points is the gap to Fernando Alonso. So it looks like the championship is out of our hands. But 4 races still left to go. There's still an opportunity there. There is still an opportunity there to go for the championship. However, we just want to try and get either a Force India or a Lotus seat for next season. That is the main goal. So we just need to keep on finishing ahead of Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber. Although Roman Grosjean isn't too far behind us, so he still does have that opportunity to demote us down into a Toro Rosso seat as well. Right, Constructors' Championship then, and we've moved up into P5. We have overtaken both Mercedes and Force India in the Constructors' Championship, and we are only 62 points behind the Lotus team. So we could possibly get P4 in the championship. We'll just have to wait and see on that one, but we could possibly get P4 in the championships. Let's wait and see. But P5 for Sauber, pretty decent result so far, and we are beating the Force India team too. But that's it for today's race. If you have enjoyed the Korean Grand Prix, don't forget to smash a like on today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so for daily Formula One content, and don't forget to share this video with your friends. And I will see you next time at the Indian Grand Prix. But until then, it's goodbye from me.